Shannon Ryan.
Hi, I'm Susie from Women's Fight News, sponsored by Champions Memorabilia, and I'm here today with British boxer Shannon Ryan. So thank you very much for joining me, Shannon. And how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. No problem. Great to be here.
And thank you so much for joining me before you weigh in, because obviously it's not the most ideal time for an interview.
It's all right. It'll keep me occupied.
And I just wanted to say, before we did this interview, we did another interview that didn't record. So shout out to you, Shannon, for coming back and doing another interview with me.
Oh, no, it's okay. These things happen, you know?
Yeah, they do. It failed on my phone's part, so what can I do? So yeah, it's weigh-in. So you've got a big fight tomorrow night at Wembley, boxers, Skysports against the favourite, Gemma Ruegg. So how's your training gone?
Yeah, do you know what? The training's gone really well. On the last fight that I had in March was again on Sky Boxer, and I was working at that time. So preparation, you know, and yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, brilliant. And how do you see your opponent, Gemma Ruegg?
Yeah, so obviously I've seen a little bit of her previously, but before I even knew I was going to fight her. So yeah, she throws hands. She's coming to fight, but I'm going to obviously do what I do best and do what I need to do.
And having a debut on such a big show, how do you find that?
Do you know what? I felt nervous. I can't lie about that. But I allowed I channeled those nerves into good energy, you know, and I think in my debut, all 4 rounds, I thought it was a really good performance. I didn't get her out of there, but again, I showed versatile, and I showed that I can box in kind of different ways as well.
I mean, your opponent is a tough opponent. She's known for being tough and really being stopped. So
yeah, I come in on that one as well at Flyweight, where she come in at, I think, 54. So the weight difference is a lot higher. But for this one, obviously, I'm coming in at the higher weight.
And you were so fast. You're like unbelievably fast in that debut. Like you couldn't even see some of your shots. You were like, oh, did you hit her then? It was that quick.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't realise I'm that quick, but I brought that from the kickboxing that I'd done before. And people think there's so many different styles of kickboxing, but the one that I done was the points fighting, where you stop and start. So a bit similar to karate, but it's more freestyle, so it's kind of exciting. So that's where the fastness comes in, and then me and my coaches work on that to use it for the boxing.
And how do you see the fight going on Saturday?
I see myself getting the win. I see it being a very good performance and a solid performance. She's going to come to fight. I don't know how I will win, whether that's a stoppage or if it's by points, but I believe it will go my way.
And you're not a million miles away from where you're from, at Wembley. So you're going to have support coming?
Yeah, so I'm from Watford, so it's not too far. So yeah, the support is coming out. A few things have clashed for people on this one, but yeah, there's still a support that's going to be there.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that noise for you. And in terms of your weight, because you were mentioning about the different weights, do you see yourself staying at Superfly or changing weights?
Yeah, I think for now, as we go up the fights, we will stay at Superfly, but I can easily get to fly, and if the one below, I think it's minimum, which is 49 kilos, that can be made easy. So when the titles and other fights do come around, when I get there, that's where we will go to. But for now, just to get the fights under my belt, we will stay at Superfly, yeah.
There's so many great fighters at these sort of lower weights. There's quite a lot of competition.
Yeah, so there's Estrada that I really like her. She's out in America, I believe. But again, when I started boxing in 2018, there wasn't as big as a pool as there is now. So it's just nice to know that the sport is opening up for us females, and just to not call it women's boxing anymore and to just call it boxing is amazing.
And there's also a lot of British fighters at Superfly now. Superfly's even grown.
Yeah, no, definitely there is a lot more. So when those domestic fights have to happen, we get that chance as well, you know. Whereas before you kind of think, oh, that wouldn't happen for me. Whereas now domestic fights can happen.
And is there anyone on your radar at the moment who you'd like to fight?
No, I respect all the girls that are out there. Anyone that steps in the ring. So we all work hard. There's no one that I've got my eye on at the moment. But whoever's in front of me, I'll just do what I have to do.
And in terms of, you've just mentioned Estrada. Would she be your dream opponent, or who would be your dream opponent?
She's got all the belts, so yeah. I think she's got them anyway. But no, it would. I think a fight with her down the line would be amazing. Obviously, I've still got work to do, a long road to go. But yeah, it would be great to share a ring with her. But even if it was just a sparring, because obviously she's I don't know how long she's got left in the sport or whatnot. But yeah, even just to meet her and have a spar with her would be fantastic, and I'd learn a lot.
I think she's got huge plans. She was even talking how she wants to become undisputed in 3 different weights, I think. So she's got a lot of plans ahead of her as well.
Yeah, and I just love her confidence, and again, she's confident in her ability, and that shows in the ring and out the ring.
And in terms of dream venue, what would be your dream venue anywhere in the world you could fight?
For me, it's MSG, Madison Square Gardens. I think that would be a dream come true. That's what I wanted to do. Not as when I started boxing, but that's the thought that I had of where I would like to go. So yeah, being on an undercard at the MSG would be amazing.
We just seen, haven't we, Taylor Serrano there, and what an atmosphere for them.
Yeah, that was magnificent, absolutely. And what they've done now for the sport, yeah, unbelievable.
Definitely. And you just touched on your sort of history of your fighting history, because when did you start boxing?
So I started boxing in August 2018. Previous to that, I started kickboxing when I was 5. And then in 2016 is when I moved to Manchester for the GB Taekwondo to train for Tokyo Olympics. But then I had a hip injury, went back to kickboxing and thought, no, I need to make something of what I can do. And that's why I chose boxing, because it allows you to do that in the ring and again outside of the ring.
What a time to join, just before the big boom, before it really kicked off, women's boxing.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%.
In terms of sort of minutes, do you prefer 2 minutes or 3 minutes? Because that seems to be the hot topic at the moment, because we're at that sort of stage where it's talked about a lot on whether there's going to be a change in the future or not.
Yeah, so I think, again, when we touched on a moment ago about my fight being fast, I think, again, as a debut, you're trying to fit everything in that 2 minutes, so I think that's a reason as well why it was quite fast paced. I would 100% prefer 3 minutes. I hope they change it to 3 minutes. I will keep calling out for 3 minutes. I don't know if that would change. I'd hear interviews about it being about how the brain is and like little things like that, but who knows? I hope it will change in the future.
Yeah, I think there's been a study where it showed that it was more dangerous for women, but the trouble is it was knowing how big that study is and whether there needs, surely there needs to be some more studies or something just to try and one way or the other, just
because I don't mind the 10 rounds. The 3 minute 10 rounds wouldn't be a problem, it's just the 2 minutes are just really short,
especially like you say when it's your debut and it's 4 rounds.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think we were saying before how you've got another 4 rounder, but it's great because it's nice to build sort of slowly, because we feel like people are rushed, especially the women early on in their careers.
Yeah, again, it's got obviously the pools in the women's boxing is getting bigger. So I'm in no rush. I'm 25 now, and I just want to take every fight as it comes. The next one we'll look at doing a 6 rounder. But yeah, 2 4 rounders under my belt, and then move along.
I mean, 25 is perfect age, really, because when you think about how many champions are in their 30s, you've got Fujioka, who is 46 and a champion, so plenty of time.
Yeah, there is time. And I just think I believe in everything in its time, and it's about trusting the process and knowing that your time will come if it's destined,
And in terms of boxing inspirations, male or female, who do you look up to in the sport?
Yeah, so obviously, as I mentioned before, like I didn't grow up watching or being around boxing. Obviously, I watched it. So for me, it's just the ones that I just find exciting and kind of unpredictable. So obviously, your Floyd Mayweathers, your Devin Haney's, your Lomachenkos, your Tank, your like Gervonta Davis, just where it's power and it's smart boxing, it's intelligent boxing. That's what I really look out for.
And how exciting is it that you're under Anthony Joshua's management company? So how did that come about?
Yeah, so that just come about from, obviously I started at Finchley ABC. They watched me spar and things like that, and obviously he's from Watford as well. So it just happened. Where we're in talks and then signed the paper, and here I am now.
And in terms of boxing is obviously your life at the moment, but have you got any sort of passions other than boxing?
Yeah, no, I do a lot of reading. I work on myself, like YouTube, podcasts. In terms of activity wise, for me, I'm just so used to just training every week since I was 5 years old. It's been 5 years old non-stop every week. So yeah, that's just my main focus and goal at the minute is just training. But my downtime is just watching YouTube, again, reading and just, working on myself.
I understand that you were working and now you went to part-time and now you've stopped working to work full-time on boxing.
Yeah, so O2, the phone shop was where I used to work, and then managed to get a sponsorship deal from them, which has amazingly helped me to not have to work, which has been incredible because I really see the difference from working and training and not working and training. My mental space is clear. I'm focused just on boxing. I can watch a lot more boxing and have a lot more rest and recovery time as well.
And in terms of your training, what's your favourite bit of training?
I think the drilling part and the breaking things down and the learning and then watching that come into fruition. I think my least favourite part would be, I used to say running, but for me now it would be like the dieting and kind of when you're restricted and you don't have your freedom, that's what's tough mentally.
Well, good luck with your weigh-in today, in which case, and enjoy eating this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
And good luck for tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit like. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And why not check out any other videos on the channel? You can follow Women's Fight News on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.